This series is brought to you by Outdoor Campers, Off the Beaten Track, Opposite Lock, Adventure Driven, alu-cab, make it better. Tackler Products, we've got you covered. And Go Camp, no excuses. We set off for the Namaqua 4x4 Eco Trail from Riemvasmaak. On the way we met a local legend. We then visited the cathedral at Pella. And kicked off the Namaqua 4x4 Eco Trail with Charles Pass. We then got lost and stayed at Klein Pella. And then fortunately found our way back to the trail and the Overlandexpedition campsite. We've had a great stay here and we're excited to continue on the trail. What a place to say goodbye to.
We only stayed one evening at Overlandexpedition, and I can actually highly recommend this campsite. It is absolutely stunning. We have not seen a single other soul. The water is coming up quite high, so do watch where you camp. Stay above the high water level. Other than that, it's absolutely spectacular. We're on to Namaqua today. We've heard sort of mixed reviews about it, so we'll see. There are some alternatives in the area, so if we don't like it, we'll just move on to something else. As I mentioned earlier, we will put this whole route on Patreon, and I will update Tracks for Africa as well, because we had a really hard time finding this campsite. A lot of the coordinates are not right. Just packing up and then we'll head out. It is hot already. It's already in the 30 degrees Celsius. And it's only like 8-9 o'clock, so let's go.
We arrived here lost, unsure, wondering, but this place, this silence, it welcomed us. No crowds, no signal, just the whisper of the Orange River and the rhythm of wind against canvas. We're back on the trail again, engines humming, wheels carving through the red sand.
I think that campsite was definitely for the books. Not the easiest to find, but I really liked it, I must say. Amy, Lee and Georgia, what did you guys think?
We actually really enjoyed it. It was so beautiful to be camping right by the river. I mean, I haven't seen that river in like 10 years, so it was so nice to see it again.
And how did you find the wild camping?
Not so bad, hey? Though luckily we had the river to swim and stuff, so we didn't actually end up using the shower cube, but we'll probably do that today. But it wasn't so different. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think especially if you have the right equipment, right? Then it's not, you don't have to rough it out here by any means. Yeah, you need to work out your water and your usage, but it's definitely not like you have to slum it out here, right?
No, completely. And it's also so nice being so far away from civilization that like we can really see the sky so beautifully, and it was really nice being in the darkness last night.
Yeah, we had that storm coming up. It didn't do much, but it was spectacular to see.
It was.
Francois, your setup's not complete yet, but I think you've got the essentials. How did you find it?
I found it not too difficult, if I can say that. Yes, there can be one or two things that you can add to make it a little bit more comfortable, but I can survive and I can enjoy it while I'm doing that. For now, the basics works 100%. You don't need to go all out, don't need to spend a lot of money on all the spectacular things. You can still come out here and experience what other people experience with just the basic stuff.
100%. I think it's you know, as you progress, you usually want to get more comfort, and especially if you have a family, you want them all to be comfortable. But you don't actually need a lot. You need a good vehicle, you need good tires, 4x4 obviously, and usually then what you add doesn't have to cost you a fortune, so it's great to see setups like that still.
Definitely.
Rudu, we had some more technical driving yesterday, but I see that bushwhacker is handling it in its stride.
No, Christopher, it was a really nice drive, and no, everything went well. I must say we were at a stunning campsite. I really enjoyed it. Tried my hand at some fishing yesterday without any luck, but luckily Francois managed to catch a nice fish. And this morning was really beautiful. We woke up early and just sat around camp and took all the scenery in. It was really something to remember.
Yeah, no, I think that campsite, like I said, is definitely for the books. Nathan, what did you think of that campsite?
Yeah, I think although it was the first wild campsite, it was definitely the best by far for me. Yeah, I also tried my hand at fishing, but Francois had the luck. But I think last night's views, kind of watching the storm roll over the mountains, was just incredible. I don't think I'm going to forget that anytime soon.
Yeah, and the other thing that's, I keep thinking about is we, from Pella to this camp yesterday, we did not, and this morning for that matter, we haven't seen a single other soul, right?
Yeah, but I definitely do think this is something that more people need to come and experience. It's incredible, but this campsite did set very high expectations for later today.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. We're heading to Melkoutboom now. We will go through a little village called Witbank, and we might stop there. And Melkoutboom, we've got sort of mixed reviews that a lot of people just didn't like it at all. So we'll see what it's like. There are alternatives in the area, so if we don't like it, we'll just move on to the next. Enjoy the ride. I'll catch you again in Witbank.
Up here, far above it all, it looks almost unreal. Endless sand stitched with the silver thread of the Orange River. The land stretches out like a painting, bold strokes of rust, sky, and that stubborn line of green hugging the water. This trail doesn't rush, it winds. It teaches you to slow down, to see again. And in the quiet hum of the convoy, there's something sacred, a rhythm, a presence, just us, the road, and the raw, wild beauty of this place. We stop now and then, drawn back to the river. It's rising, slow but certain, swollen from the rains upstream. There's a quiet power in it, steady, patient, unstoppable. We pause for a moment, let it remind us, everything moves forward in time. On arrival, the land greets us with something rare, unexpected: rain. Out here, where dryness is the rule, it felt like a blessing, gentle, cleansing, as if the desert itself exhaled. A quiet welcome at the end of a long road.
So we've been on this trail a couple of days now. What has been your experience, and especially with towing a caravan? Is this something you would suggest to other people? How have you found it?
Christoph, most of the route has been actually very, very easy. But there has been 2 passes, 12 passes and canyon pass. And even on that side detour we took yesterday, there were some technical sections. I wouldn't suggest you come with a big caravan. I think, one of the medium and smaller size ones should do well, or a good off-road trailer with good ground clearance. Specifically the overhang behind the axles, when you climb those rock steps, if you go down, that's where you might end up with some damage, and it's not very wide, so you have to look for your line. But I found it to be a very good challenge. That's why I brought the caravan with. I could have come with the bucket alone, but the caravan added a little bit more comfort, added some water, gave me a little bit more, opportunity to just be sure that, I'm going to survive the route, for the amount of water and stuff we need to carry. Sleep very comfortable and all of that. But the challenge is what I was after, I just wanted to say, I've had so many clients tell me, no, it's not possible, don't do it, and I've actually found it, there's no damage to my vehicle, no damage to the caravan. And yeah, it's been awesome. I would definitely suggest doing it. Just make sure that you've got the right vehicle, and common sense pretty well.
Yeah. And some people might think, well, there's no toilets out here, there's no shower. Why do you do this? Why do you come out here?
So we obviously have, a fully equipped vehicle, and we've got all the amenities on board, and we can shower, and there's a porta potty and all of that. But that's not what it's about. For me, it's the scenery, the peace and quiet. I'm sitting here, and it's surreal. We've had rain just now, the dramatic effects of the clouds over the mountains, the sound of the river. It's just something that you want to bottle and take home. And on those days that come hectic again at the office, you actually think back at this, and you find some inner peace. It's really nice. I would love to have my family here as well, for them to experience this with me. And I think this is what we look for. You look for these nice gems, and you've got the tools to get you to those places.
This is why we do this. To find something still, something real, to carry it with us into whatever chaos awaits beyond the trail. The sky opens up, not with words, but with color, like the land itself is taking a breath after the rain. Pink and orange, dust and cloud, dancing in the last light of day. The air is thick with the smell of rain on dry sand, the earthy smell of renewal. Out here, it's easier to be present, to breathe, to feel. The real challenge isn't finding that peace, it's remembering it, holding on to it, letting it change the way we live when we go back home. Morning breaks over Malcote Boom. Clear skies, cool air, the kind that wakes you up from the inside out. Today we head further downstream to a place where stories run as deep as the river.
So we are on our way to Goodhouse. It's a local community here. We'll meet some of the locals, specifically Fernando, who's a guide for the Namaqua Eco Trail.
'n single ouer mens.
Fernando is a local guide, storyteller, and keeper of memories.
Wie sal vir hardloop visvang?
Today, Fernando is taking us to the water to show us how they fish here. This is the way it's been done here for generations, shaped by the river, the seasons, and a deep knowing passed down through time.
Ek maak nou vang ons met natuurlike as. So dis is lewendige aasbyt. Wat ons mee hier langs vang soos sprinkane, voeltjies, miswurms. As ons aardwurms kry, gebruik ons die en klein visjetjies.
Fernando carries the land in his voice. 1,000 stories passed down like river stones, each one smoothed by time.
This is just outside Goodhouse, and you can contact Fernando. I'll put his info in the link below, and you can arrange to have some traditional fishing. Highly suggested. It's a lovely day, and you can see how these guys actually catch fish. So what he was saying earlier is quite pertinent. If you don't catch fish here, you don't eat. It's obviously a poor community, but they look after the place, they're proud, and if you're coming through here, do stop. Really friendly people. You can support the tuck shop, organize some local fishing. Definitely recommend it.
We give it a go, trying our hand at this age-old way of fishing. Let's just say we've got a long way to go before we can call ourselves experts.
Wat het jy hier vanaand?
Is nou 'n geelvis die.
Daai geelvis.
Is wat ons sê die geelvis, is die dun bekkietjie.
Oh, wel dan.
Ja.
So congrats on catching your first fish.
Thank you. I just pulled it in though.
And have you ever fished like this before?
No, only with a rod when I was younger, maybe like 7 years old. So this is my first proper old school fishing experience.
And would you recommend people come here and do this?
I think it's quite fun. Just make sure you have a hat and sunscreen. Oh, but it's actually really lovely out here.
As we leave the riverbank, Rudu gets stuck, not in deep sand, but in a spot soft enough to hold him tight. No panic, no fuss, just a little reminder that this land always keeps you on your toes. Francois steps in, winch ready, and with steady hands pulls him free. No drama, just teamwork and adventure. We pause briefly in Goodhouse, a small place with deep roots and stories waiting to be told. It's quiet right now, but tomorrow we'll return to visit the local school. A chance to connect, to learn, and to see how this community nurtures its future.
Hi.
For now, the river calls us onward. Instead of going all the way back to Namakwa, we decided to try another local camp that's closer.
So we thought we'd try some piece of Kampi because we didn't want to go all the way back to Namakwa and then having to go past Goodhouse again in any case. I actually paid for this place already, but we can't reach it because it's overgrown. I don't have my chainsaw with. We've only got a handsaw, and that would take like the rest of the day to clear this stuff. So I will be asking for my money back.
I'm still waiting to this day for my refund, so I don't recommend this camp. We take a chance to see if Ramon's Drift is open, and lucky for all of us, it is. We're taking it easy. Another unbelievable campsite. Wide open skies, the hush of the river, and that feeling that we've stumbled onto something special. Evening greets us with another unforgettable show. The sky burning gold and rose as the sun dips low. Campfires spark to life, stories drift into the smoke. And just as the light fades, the moon rises, calm, bright, timeless. Nights like this don't ask for much, just your presence. We're returning to Goodhouse, this time to visit the local school.
So we on our way back to Goodhouse. It was an unscheduled stay here at Ramon's Drift. Originally it was, they said it was booked. Turned out it wasn't, and some piece of Kampi we couldn't reach the campsite, which is a pity, but at least this place was available. Francois, what did you think of the fishing at Goodhouse and subsequently last night here at Ramon's Drift?
We were trying our best, and luckily it succeeded last night. So we mixed some knowledge that we earned from the Nama people, and then we mixed it with a little bit of modern technology, and yeah, finally it worked, and it was quite exhilarating after the long day of fishing, trying, and then at least we caught a fish. So that was very nice. I enjoyed it.
Amy Lee and Georgia, what did you think of the experience meeting the local folks there at Goodhouse?
They were all really welcoming and sweet, and the kids were so curious and just very welcoming and a very warm community. I really enjoyed that experience.
Rudu, you also tried fishing. How did you find it, and what do you think of the campsite?
Christoph, Ramon's Drift was very, very nice. I would highly suggest people coming here. I think we had a great evening there, and the nice conversations around the fire was also great. Goodhouse was very cool. I would like to camp on that little beach there as well, where we fished with the locals yesterday. I really enjoyed myself. I stood in the river and thought about friends I never met, and yeah, it was really, really nice just to take it all in.
So yeah, back to Goodhouse to deliver some stationery at the school there. I highly suggest if you're doing this trail, do stop at Goodhouse. Get some of the local guides for the fishing, but also if you can spare, bring some stationery and just drop it off at the school. And just a special thank you to all the companies that provided some stationery as well. alu-cab, Outdoor Campers, Opposite Lock, Go Camp, Takla. It's really much appreciated. It'll go to good use at this little school. Thank you very much. We headed there right now, and then we will go to Namaqua, which is our last camp on the eco trail. This is the end of section 1. We'll not be doing section 2 this time, but it seems there might be a change in itinerary, so we'll see later. We might have a very epic place to end off this series.
We've brought along some stationery, small things, but with purpose. The kids welcome us with their bright eyes and big smiles, curious, kind, incredibly well-mannered. In their voices, in their energy, you can feel it, the hope of this small, proud community.
So, slight change of plan. We've decided not to go to Namaqua because it's very similar to Romansdrift where we've just been. The change of plan is we'll go to Kammieskroon. We'll get out of the eco trail now and refuel at Steinkopf. We've decided to end this trip at the ocean. So we are headed ultimately to Namaqua National Park, and we'll spend 2 nights there, one at Korenkorrel Bay and the last at Delvis Camp, and then work our way back home.
I think that was pretty heartwarming. Pumping up the bull sort of brought this whole thing back into perspective. It's like something you take for granted, and that soccer ball was given to the school about 1.5 years ago with another TV program, and it's so well looked after, but you know, they have no way of pumping it, so we just pumped up the ball and probably made that kid's day. We certainly should not take for granted what we have and some of the privileges we have that these guys do not. So if you're in the area, do stop at Goodhouse. As I mentioned, I'll put Fernando's contact details in the description. Bring stationery, hygiene products, toiletries. You know, we take those things for granted, but these kids don't have it. And these kids still have a real shot, right? So if we can help them get a good education and have some of their basic needs looked after, they might, you know, become great leaders someday. You don't know. They could change this place around or do many other great things. But we have these things in excess, and these people have none. They want to be proud and self-sustaining, and you can help them by visiting these areas, spending locally, and bringing basic stuff, like I said, hygiene products, toiletries, and definitely stationery. It doesn't have to cost you a fortune. There's literally like 14 kids there, but it goes a long way.
We leave Goodhouse behind and head toward the tarmac. But nothing could have prepared us for what's next. This stretch, this raw, untamed corner of the world is the most spectacular scenery I've ever laid eyes on. Feels almost surreal being back on tar after so many kilometers of driving dirt. We're heading towards Steinkopf, where we'll refuel, and then we're headed southwest to the ocean. A short stretch of tar, and then it's time to air down again. By now, it's routine, but somehow it never gets old. Welcome to Namaqua National Park. No matter how many times I see it, the first glimpse of the ocean always hits me like the first time. For a moment, I'm a kid again, wide-eyed, weightless, full of wonder. Goodhouse Bay is a great campsite, remote, quiet, and the view, the Atlantic stretching out endlessly before you. There's something about this place that settles you, makes you feel small in the best possible way.
So, not many places like this where you can camp like this with a view like that. It's perfect.
Ek het 'n borsel ook.
Finally getting it fixed yesterday, but I feel so.
So what did you think of the Namaqua Eco Trail itself?
Beautiful. I don't think there's a word that you can actually describe it in one word. It is pristine, beautiful, hot, corrugations, but I think the scenery is just beautiful. I think more people should see it. It's really underrated. I've heard a lot of the Eco Trail, but I haven't heard of a lot of people that done the Eco Trail. It's a bucket list, and it was a bucket list. It's done now, but it's really beautiful. I think the passes that we did, Charles Pass, it was nothing technical, but it's beautiful. Everywhere you come, it is just a beautiful scenery. If it's a sunrise, a sunset, mountains, rocky, everything is just beautiful. My most memorable moment of this whole trip, some would say it's the campground, some would say it's something else. My most memorable part was if we're sitting in a convoy in Charles Pass and you're in between massive mountains, rock formations, and you realize that you're actually nothing. All these vehicles we've got is nothing, but it's the most beautiful scenery to see our vehicles go up there with the nature around you. I think that was for me the most memorable moment. Camping grounds was great, all the scenery was great, but that was for me something wow to see that.
We're heading to our last camp, Delver's Camp.
So we're just airing down the tyres some more. We've been informed the sand is really thick and soft for about 6 kilometers. So I'm taking these down to about 1.2 bar.
Thick sand and beautiful views. Classic West Coast. Just make sure you follow the arrows on these sandy stretches. They're on the wrong side of the road.
This is Delver's camp, one of my favorite camps in Namaqua National Park. I would highly recommend it.
All Namaqua's campsites are lovely. This one though has a private little beach which is amazing.
So I take it this has been the longest trip you guys been out here overlanding?
It has, actually.
Together, yes, definitely.
Yeah. This is definitely my longest one.
But how have you found it? How's it been being out here, living out of the car full time?
I do love it. I didn't grow up in a camping family at all, but being in this environment, G and I have been obviously camping since a couple months now, and it is very freeing. It is so different to being at home and stuck in the same little circle of like Cape Town life. So I find it very freeing and rewarding.
And from my side, I feel like when you don't camp for a while and you come back into that space, you almost feel like you've forgotten that sense of freedom and just leaving all of your stuff behind, all the crap, and just coming out here with what you need and seeing all these amazing things. And yeah, I feel like I missed it almost. Yeah.
And the wild camping part of it is we've had very little ablutions and flushing toilets. How's that been?
Those are actually my favorite campsites.
Same, definitely.
I loved waking up by the river every morning and actually waking up for sunrise. I never do that normally, so it was so different and wonderful and healing.
You get used to the self-sufficiency quite quickly. I think it was daunting in the beginning. Like packing in the Portaloo, we were like, oh my word, there's no way we're using this. But yeah, we ended up, you make it work. You just get used to it. Yeah.
But this is something, that usually puts a lot of folks that haven't done this off, right? It's like, oh, well, where do I poop? And it's like, there's no showers, so how do I do that? But I think you very well kitted with Thor, the vehicle you've got with you. How's that been using that?
Oh, amazing. I think there's always extra little bits that you find while you're on a trip that you could like upgrade or do better. But actually, considering we haven't done very many long distance trips with this car, we're pretty sorted. We've almost had everything we need. The shower cube is looking good. We're excited about that now. Got the new shower tray, which is coming out. So yeah.
It's so easy to live like this when you're that kitted out. Yeah. It really is.
It does make it comfortable. I don't think you need all of it, but certainly you don't have to rough it out here either, right? It's like you have all the amenities you need, but it's really nice to be out here.
Yeah.
This is why we venture out here. Far from the noise, far from the rush, off-grid, into the stillness. To find moments like these, this is why we follow a quiet path.
I hope you enjoyed this trip with us. We certainly did. We made some new friends, and it was good to see some old ones. It was great seeing nature as it's intended to be seen, wild camping for the most part, and some really friendly communities. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, it does make a difference. And until next time, get out there.